With the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder set to clash in pivotal Game 5 with the series tied at 2-2, it's safe to say that the winner of Game 5 is on a collision course to the Western Conference Finals. Want to find out who came out on top? Stay tuned on Hardwood Smack. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Hardwood Smack. I am, of course, your host, Mr. CeeLo, joining you once again to show you the wonderful game that we just checked out here in Oklahoma City. Before we go on with that, most of you know that 83% of the teams that win Game 5 ultimately go on to win Game 7. So that is why it is called the pivotal Game 5. And it's even gotten to the point where Game 3 is considered pivotal Game 3. But let's not stay on that topic. Let's move forward and talk about the game. As we now know that the Dallas Mavericks prevailed over the Oklahoma City Thunder 104-92. Led by Luka Doncic's triple-double, 31-point triple-double. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have a lot of people that may give me flack about what I'm about to say because honestly, not all triple-doubles are made equal. Because reality is, ladies and gentlemen, Luka Doncic is also the reason why this team does not win at times. And let me explain what I mean, guys. Because here's the reality. As great as Luka Doncic is, he holds the ball entirely too much, you guys. You know, and I'm sorry to say this, but the reality of it is he holds the ball way too much. And it drives me nuts.
Who cares?
It really does, you guys. And tonight, it did not hurt them. But we've seen too many times when he's held on to the ball. And, fortunately, this time it's not hurt them. But we're going to get into it as we are going to break down what I believe was the catalyst for what went down. Needless to say, sorry, guys, I got to give a shout out to my man A. Harris, 6839. Guys, as I said before, to understand why this team is able to do what it is doing.
Why don't you explain it to me?
Dallas is able to move the ball just enough to keep Oklahoma City off balance, which, in my opinion, you look at the entire. I think it was Shaquille O'Neal saying something about this. Charles Barkley was saying it. The ball has gotten stagnant with Oklahoma City. And to me, that is the ultimate problem that they're having. They're getting caught up in playing the type of game that Dallas is playing. And it's almost like they're playing to trick these guys. You know, when you get the Kyrie crossover, dribbling the ball. And the same thing with the Luka. But what also you can't argue is Luka's ability to get the ball to other guys. But let's take a look here. You had Gafferty, that he was phenomenal. Well, he was phenomenal on the glass. I was so impressed with the way this guy played on the glass. It was you look at how Gafford is all over the place. He only had one block tonight, but he affects so much on the defensive side of the ball. And I was listening to what I don't know if it was Draymond Green or Kenny Smith that said their defense has gotten so much better since the Gafford and PJ Washington trade, and it has. Even though P.J. Washington did not affect this game with his scoring, we could argue that late in the game when Oklahoma City was making their run, he made two really big plays. He hit a three-pointer and he missed one badly, but recovered the rebound and put it down with authority.
What do you know?
And this is where I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers, and listen, Luka shot 12 of 22. It looks good, but Luka is still doing the one thing. He did have a great alley-oop in transition. It was a phenomenal pass from, I would say, about 60, 70 feet. And I still believe he slows this thing down too much. He does. He slows it down too much. And I look at it at times where they need to slow it down, and where are you? Luka slows the ball down in probably the worst moments. Some of the worst, and this is where people will say, some of the worst things about somebody are some of the things that you also love about them. And Luka's kind of got that, position. You love him or you hate the way he plays. I'm a guy that I'm in the middle, because you want him to play under control, but then at times he plays too under control. When you have opportunities to move the ball, he doesn't. But on the backside, one thing that I can honestly say is about Oklahoma City, what I'm seeing a lot of Gilgeous-Alexander taking the ball to the basket and a lot of pounding the air out of the ball. A lot. And to me, that is a problem. A huge problem, because the Mavs outshot them from the three-point line 14-10. And you got guys, and this is where Joe Dort and Jalen Williams were taking bad three-pointers. They were taking horrible three-pointers. They were taking three-pointers with guys in their face. That's not your game. That is not your game. What are you doing? Then what are you doing? That is not your game. And here's the other thing. Chet Holmgren only had 11 shots. He only had 11 shots. And the thing is, this is where I have a problem with the way the Thunder are playing right now. They are living and dying by taking a lot of bad shots. A lot of bad shots. Now, a lot of people are going to say, okay, we need to do it this way. See, Jalen Williams is taking a lot of bad shots in this series. Somebody needs to get to him and say, look, you're not that dude. I'm just saying. I'm going to call you out, Williams. You're not that dude. Pump your brakes on the shots. Same thing with Dort. You guys are taking a lot of contested, really bad threes. Stop it. You're not nearly as proficient shooting the basketball as Chet Holmgren. And I have a problem with the fact that they're not getting this guy enough shots. They're not. You have to get your most efficient players the ball. Right now, Alexander is getting his. He's a guy that can create his own shot. But outside of that, Chet Holmgren's not touching the ball nearly enough. What you going to do about it, OKC? Or are you going to go home? What you going to do? I mean, because here's the reality. When I saw game one, and I honestly thought this series was going to be either 4-1 Thunder or it was going to be a sweep. Because if you look at the way they were playing in game one, you had Homer get 16 shots and he had 19 points. And you look up and down the way they were able to do it, they had a lot of ball movement. Ball movement was phenomenal. And it was to the point that even, you had Luka Doncic taking bad shots, and he was not really in the flow of an offense. They were not moving the basketball. Their offense looked dead. Now it seems like the infectiousness of Dallas's dead-weighted offense has trickled over to the Thunder. It looked like this series has taken a turn, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't agree with what Draymond Green said, saying that they have them figured out. It's not like they blowed them out. Luka made some really tough three-pointers and some deep ones. So, and this is where I say Luka needs to be more aware of what he's doing. Because a lot of the threes that he's taking are with guys in his face. Now, I think he went maybe 3 out of 7, 3 out of 8 with guys in his face. And the other threes that he took were deep threes that were open. That's what you want, Luka. And the reason why a lot of people are probably going to say, well, Luka won the game. Well, Luka's a lot of the reason why they lose games. He's got to differentiate when to take a game over and when to do his thing. He did that exceptionally well tonight, and it resulted in a triple-double. He wasn't barking at the officials as much. They still need to get Kyrie Irving going. You know, he took 11 shots. He was 5 of 11, had 12 points. But when you get guys like Jones involved and P.J. Washington late, and Lively had 11 off the bench, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's not that the Mavericks have anything figured out. It's just that they're figuring out they need to play some team ball and push the tempo. They're being more aggressive pushing the tempo when they get rebounds. Oklahoma City doesn't look that way. If you remember the New Orleans series, the Thunder were pushing the tempo. Now you're in a situation where you're stagnant. Yeah, Jalen Williams is holding on to the ball. I'm going to put it to you like this. Anybody should be taking the ball to the basket is Chet Holmgren. Because when he took that ball by Gafford earlier, late in the game, he's got that all night. This is the problem. You guys have to say, okay, Chet Holmgren is our second best player, which he is. And I mean, you can say he's not. The guy has a touch, but the guy, when he plays well, they win, and they're tough to stop. I would argue to say impossible to stop, especially with the size he has.
Damn, I'm good. Hey, shut up!
Oklahoma City's going to get back in this series. Holmgren has to be the man. Shane's going to get his, but Chet's got to get going. You got to make an effort to get him going. Not these other guys. You guys are role players. Stop trying to put up a significant number of shots like you are one of those guys. Jalen Williams. Dort. If the Oklahoma City Thunder do not get this worked out where Holmgren's got at least 15 shots, they're done Saturday. It's going to be over. But once again, Mavericks 104, Thunder 92. The Mavericks now lead 3-2. And as I said earlier in the show, the team that wins Game 5 wins the series 83% of the time. Luka Doncic had a 31-point triple-double. Notables, Kyrie Irving had 12. Jones had 19 points on 7 of 9 shooting. P.J. Washington had a really good stat line. 10 points, 10 rebounds, double-double. As well as Lively also had 11 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 30 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. And as I said, Chet Holmgren, 13 points on 5-11 shooting. But as I said, if the Mavericks keep moving the ball and Luka can understand to pick his spots and continue to shift the ball around and get guys like Lively, as well as P.J. Washington, the basketball, and Gafford, they're going to finish the series on Saturday. And that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to go to Dallas. They're going to be jacked. And I think Dallas finishes the series and goes to another Western Conference Finals. But that's going to do it for us, you guys. Hit me up down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the show. As I said, so much for hitting me up. I appreciate it. Also, go to Mr. CeeLo at Instagram and let me know what you think, as well as check out the other shows that I'm involved in. But until the next time, keep talking your smack on those hardwoods.